Hello and welcome to Monday, the 19th of August. Thank you for letting me have the weekend off. Back fresh and well. A little bit overcast this morning down here in Phang in Thailand. We're going to check out the main stories from around the country. Thought we might just check in with how the USD is doing against the Thai baht. You know, it's the international benchmark, so let's see. Now this looks at the Thai baht and the US dollar over the past year. Let's just zoom in a little bit. And if we go back to May with that yellow line, it was around about 37.2 Thai baht to the US dollar. But if we go down to today, it's down to 34.5 Thai baht to the US dollar. So the Thai baht strengthening quite a lot over the past 2 or 3 months against the US dollar. Certainly you can see that very swift decline of the US dollar against the Thai baht over the past couple of weeks. And now that's of course against the backdrop of quite a few weeks of turmoil in Thai politics, which we'll get to in just a moment, but the Constitutional Court making some big decisions and Thai social media going into quite a flap. Let's go into what's happened over the last 3 days. A lot of overseas media did cover what was going on. This is from CNN World. Thailand's king endorses Thaksin Shinawatra as new Prime Minister of Thailand. And Thailand's king's officially endorsed Thaksin Shinawatra, a scion of the country's most famed and divisive political dynasty, to become the country's new Prime Minister. And the country's youngest ever Prime Minister at 37 years old. Thaksin is the daughter of the ousted former leader, Thaksin Shinawatra. She becomes Thailand's second woman Prime Minister after her aunt and Thaksin's sister, Yingluck Shinawatra. And footage here posted on the Khao English Facebook page. And King Maha Vajiralongkorn's approval was read to her by the Secretary of the House of Representatives at the Thai headquarters in the capital Bangkok. Thaksin got down on her knees, paid homage to a portrait of the king. And her father was also there, who is now released from parole and is basically a free citizen, but clearly delighted to see his daughter, a 37-year-old Thaksin, now the new Thai Prime Minister. And asked by reporters if her appointment would be seen as the return of a dynasty, Thaksin said she wouldn't be influenced by others. She said she may ask her father for advice, but stressed she had her own ideas, adding that Thaksin will not take up any role in the administration. So the ceremony now out of the way, Thailand now has its 31st Prime Minister. The doorstops didn't go quite so well for some of the other cabinet members, including the leader of the Palang Pracharat Party, who was doorstopped by the media. 80-year-old Prawit Wongsuwon was asked by a Thai PBS journalist, apparently quite politely, what he thought about the elevation of Thaksin to the position of Prime Minister, and he wasn't very happy about the question and was happier giving her a few clouts over the head rather than address the topic. And now at 80 years old, clearly quite doddery. And now, according to Khao English Facebook page, 2 major journalist associations, the Thai Journalist Association and Thai Broadcasting Journalists, issued a joint statement on Saturday saying they'll push for an investigation by the House of Representatives to find out if the Palang Pracharat Party leader, General Prawit Wongsuwon, violated political ethics as an MP by shoving a female reporter from Thai PBS twice. And Prawit, the former deputy junta leader, was also a prime ministerial candidate for his party. So really last Friday was his last shot at a chance of becoming Prime Minister, but deals were done that completely overwhelmed any chance he had of being nominated in Parliament, although you can imagine that in the back rooms people saying, oh, yes, everything will be fine, you'll be nominated and you'll be the Prime Minister, just to placate him and keep him quiet. Then didn't quite go to plan. Anyway, it looks like he's in trouble once again with journalists, and you can imagine at least a public apology from one of the 3 generals who were involved with the coup back in 2014 that ousted, well, another Shinawatra. So a lot written over the weekend in Thai and overseas media about Thailand's new Prime Minister. Of course, a common theme is that she's just Thaksin's daughter. He's still pulling the puppet strings and he's running everything. And we'll get into an article that questions if that's a good or a bad thing, or if we really need to worry about it. Of course, she is the head of the Thai party. The coalition is still there. Nothing's really changed, although she will have the opportunity to select some new cabinet members, and that'll be happening over the next couple of days. Don't think there's going to be any big surprises, and I think the big takeaway from the past couple of weeks is that at least Thailand has had a continuity of government, even if some of the changes have been a bit of a surprise. This article by Prawit Wongsuwon I think is excellent. He's the head writer for Cowside English. I'll put a link in the description. Is Thailand's new PM Thaksin Shinawatra or her father, Thaksin Shinawatra? And just a few paragraphs. For over a year, Thaksin's been heading the Thai party. Again, the position comes from the fact that she's Thaksin's daughter, but at least managed to have done a decent job as leader of the ruling party and is sufficiently articulate and able to handle the press well, including those from opposition outlets. And to ordinary folks, it's less important or even a non-issue whether this is actually a Thaksin Shinawatra administration or a Thaksin administration, as long as it delivers, particularly on the economic front. Like what China's Deng Xiaoping once said, it doesn't matter whether a cat's black or white as long as it catches mice. So still plenty more to be said about that until the government settles back into doing government things. Be interested in the comment section as to what your attitude is about it. Again, as foreigners, it's really not a lot to do with us, but there may be some implications on things like visas, and we'll discuss that more tomorrow. Acknowledging our sponsor, 5 Star Marine at 5starmarinephuket.com. That's the number 5, not spelling it out. And also Beach House Thailand. Links in the description if you'd like a nice place to stay in Phang or if you're looking to head out onto Phang Bay with 5 Star Marine. As we, bad timing, get to a marine safety story. This up in Bangkok, reported by Bangkok Post. Actor's jet ski hits motorboat on Chao Phraya, killing 2. And 2 people drowned and 2 others injured when an actor's jet ski hit a boat in the Chao Phraya River. The accident happened in the middle of the river at about 9 p.m. on Saturday. A woman passenger on the ferry and its driver fell off their boat and went missing. Now, this ferry was just like a rickety old long-tail boat. But rescuers found the body of a 44-year-old passenger as well as a 64-year-old on the riverbed near the sunken engine of their boat. And 2 passengers on the jet ski were slightly injured, a 17-year-old and her 44-year-old mother, who suffered bruises and pain. The jet ski driver and actor, Shindane Sai Lim, said he could not see the ferry crossing the river because it had no lights and the vehicles were too close for him to avert the collision. Actually, some CCTV footage, and you can see the jet ski racing along there. There's 2 jet skis, the second one looking like it hit something, but pretty hard to see on that video. Even a close-up looking in slow motion, it's the second vehicle we're looking at, and it does hit something, and they were going at quite a clip down the Chao Phraya at the time. And because it's a high-profile actor involved in that incident, it will get a lot of media attention. But sadly, 2 people have died. Now, a lot of people over the past couple of weeks asking what's happened to Surachate Hakparn, the former deputy policeman, the former head of immigration, also known as, people like to refer to him as Big Joke, as he is in this headline. End of the line for Big Joke, reported in Bangkok Post. And any hope Police General Surachate might have of becoming the National Police Chief this year has evaporated with the official announcement in the Royal Gazette of his dismissal from the force. He was removed from his position due to a pending investigation of a serious breach of discipline. And that order was retroactive to April the 18th this year. The dismissal order stems from allegations that Police General Surachate was involved in an online gambling network into which investigations are continuing. And just a bit of background, a long simmering conflict between factions loyal to Police General Surachate and Police General Torsak, the current police chief, intensified last year after the latter was chosen as the chief despite having less seniority than any other candidate. And here we go. Police General Torsak is the brother of ACM Sattipong Sukwimot, the Lord Chamberlain and head of the Crown Property Bureau. It might be the last we hear of Surachate Hakparn, although I've got a funny feeling he's going to pop up somewhere or the other. But probably not the person who's going to be knocking on your door checking if you've overstayed your visa. And now, I've got a question for you. I've pondered, although it's quite a bit more stressful, I've pondered doing the Daily Show live. So maybe 9 o'clock every morning, we'd sit down and we'd do 10 minutes of solid news, and then we'd have some quick comments and questions for another 10 or 20 minutes each day. Is that something that you'd be interested in, or are you happy for me to keep on doing the 10 to 12 minutes of news each day and that's it? So be happy to hear your comments in the comments section, and of course on anything else we've spoken about today, including Thailand's new Prime Minister. And for all those people who are really worried about all these changes, the sun did come up today. The food vendors are out on the road, and I was able to buy a coffee at 7-Eleven. So things still not that bad here living in Thailand. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Please support our sponsors. We'll see you tomorrow.